or was it his roommate, had a djembe drum.
Djembe.
It's
Djembe.
like a single drum thing that you put between your legs.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, you can hit it, and then you can hit it with your palm in the center. It gives a nice little thump. It's that time again. Welcome back to Shoot from the Hip, the podcast of adventure and intellectual intrigue. Today has been crafted in true Trumpian fashion with handcrafted woke poetry, a thought-provoking round of fake news, and deep philosophical shower thoughts. We worked hard to make this podcast today, so sit up, listen closely, and take all this information to heart as we shoot from the hip.
All right, so something that we've talked about doing that we haven't done yet, but we are doing now. Wow, see how I just did that?
That was
That was legit.
That was amazing.
Is called woke poetry, and these are poems that we will write that are relevant to today's news. But first, we're going to bring you an advertisement from our new sponsor, Paradise Hawaiian Shaved Ice. As we are rapidly approaching the warmer weather, the need to treat yourself with something cool and refreshing will become insatiable. What better way to satisfy your desire for sweets than with a Hawaiian Shave Ice? Paradise Hawaiian Shaved Ice in Suwannee, Georgia has partnered with us to give our listeners a 15% off code to use when they visit. Use the code Shoot from the Hip for 15% off of your total. Try it today at 2855 Lawrenceville Suwannee Road in Suwannee, Georgia. Again, it's Paradise Hawaiian Shaved Ice in Suwannee, Georgia. Use the code Shoot from the Hip for 15% off of your total today. All right, so woke poetry, this is a little something I wrote for you guys.
I love this.
And I'm a little nervous about this. I don't normally share my poetry with everybody because it's so good. But I've entitled this, I've given it a title that is in memory of a great sandwich that's only offered certain time of the year, and that's the McRib.
McRibs.
But I have, in true trolling the liberals fashion, which I occasionally like to do, I've entitled this McLib.
McLibs.
The McLib. So here we go. I went to McDonald's today to order a burger and maybe a frappe. When I walked inside, my eyes soon spied a man sipping a dairy-free latte. I asked him what was in his drink. He said, "Come on, man. What do you think? My name is Keegan, and I'm a vegan, and your desire for dairy should shrink." I shouted aloud, "No way! I thought vegans ate only dirt and hay." Our conversation got heated when I said, "I don't mind that cows get mistreated." So I went and ordered a hot fudge sundae. The end. What'd you think?
I thought you were going to say that cows were eated or something like
Bro,
that.
you were so woke over here.
Was that super woke?
You were
like
woke.
it.
I slapped the wokeness right out of that anyway. So that was woke poetry. We'll bring you one of those every now and then just to make sure everybody
Yeah.
knows what's up in the world.
Stay woke.
Just to keep everyone informed.
And listeners can submit poems to us.
Oh yes,
You can DM us or something with a woke poem if you've got the skills for that. And we've got a few that are coming in, and we will read those on the air whenever we choose to do it.
I was gonna say, just to give a little bit of a teaser, Lancer has given us a little taste of his,
Yeah.
and it's pretty fresh. So,
So,
we'll hear that.
might be
at
dropping
some
that
point.
here in the near future. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spitting some lines
Yeah.
for us. All right, let's jump into some fake news.
Fake news. All right, so this.
Fake news.
Oh, there we go.
There he
I was
is.
waiting for it.
You are fake news.
So this is a news segment that we're going to do, which is it's two truths and a lie, but we call it fake news because it's going to be news headlines. Two of them will be not true, and one of them will be true. Now, see, I'm going to read these three. So I've got actually 3 rounds of this, and I'm going to read the 3. And both Lancer and Aaron are going to try to guess which one is the lie. And
Wait, if 2 of them are lies, we should be guessing the true one, right?
did I say that there were 2 lies and a
Yes.
truth?
So
there are 2 truths and a lie.
All right.
There we go.
So we are trying to spot the fake headline.
Correct.
Fake news. All
Correct.
right.
And whenever we get one right, what will we hear?
You will hear
Oh,
there we
a
go.
little ding.
All right.
I'm ready for
The
it.
little ding, which we do legitimately manually here.
Yes.
We don't have a sound bit for that.
No, we don't. We're
So-
old school.
Let me hit off a round one with some very, very good headlines here. Headline number one. Pig in Australia steals 18 beers from campers, gets drunk, fights a cow.
Wow.
I hope that's true.
A lot going on right there.
Headline number two. Man drowns dog with own head.
Oh, man.
Wait, with his own head?
Just says man drowns dog with own head.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Headline number three. Homicide victims rarely talk to the police.
Oh man.
So we have to spot the one that is not
Which one
true.
is fake news?
Oh man.
Man.
Aaron, you choose first on this one. I'll choose first next round.
I'm going. Gosh. I'm going with the pig that's stealing the booze and like beating up a cow.
All
That's
right.
got to be fake.
Okay. All right. What was the second one again?
Man drowns dog with own head.
I'm gonna have to go with that one because that doesn't make. I don't
It
understand.
was close, but I was
Yeah.
like, you never know.
All right. The answer is, well, let me just say who got it correctly, which would be Lancer.
All right.
Oh,
1
come
point for
on.
me.
1 point for Lancer.
Yeah.
Man drowns dog with own head was something that I made up. I don't know where it came from.
That was a terrible headline.
Yes, it was. But there are also other terrible headlines that I did
mean-
not write.
That means,
the
other
pig was
two.
true.
The pig was true, and
pig
so
was
was
true.
the homicide one.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Homicide victims rarely talk to the police was a newspaper headline.
Amazing.
yes.
That's amazing.
All right, so round number two, we have Lancer at 1 and Aaron at 0.
Don't remind me.
Winning.
I'm coming
Winning.
back.
Headline number 1. Woman in sumo wrestler suit assaulted her ex-girlfriend in gay pub after she waved at man dressed as a Snickers bar.
What? Holy cow.
Would you like me to reread that one? It's a long one.
Wow. Yes.
Woman in sumo wrestler suit assaulted her ex-girlfriend in gay pub after she waved at man dressed as a Snickers bar.
Oh my goodness.
She waved at a man.
So many
dressed
layers
as a
of that.
Snickers
Yes,
bar.
there's a lot to that. It's hard to follow.
Okay.
Okay, and then number 2. 2 dogs take a joyride and crash truck into river.
Okay.
Okay, and then headline number 3. Bald man shoots barber for bad haircut.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going first on this one, right? All right,
Gosh.
so we got the crazy lady.
We got sumo wrestler woman who...
Lancer, did you
Yeah,
ever
all
shoot
that.
your barber?
I am my barber, so
Hopefully not.
so no, hopefully not. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go with. Okay, I'm gonna go with the 2 dogs in the joyride. That's
Okay.
gonna be the one I'm gonna say is fake news.
All right, 2 dogs in joyride for Lancer.
Man, that was what I was going to choose. So I feel like I have to choose something else just to be different. But I kind of want to choose. If I choose the same thing, then I technically won't lose if we both get it wrong.
Well, the best
If
you
you
could do
both
is
get it.
tie.
Right.
Right.
I'm choosing that as well.
You're going to choose that as well?
I'm choosing the dogs driving into the river.
Wow.
was it the
don't have
bald
a
guy?
tune for that. Bald man shoots barber for bad
Oh,
haircut.
man,
That was
oh,
the
wow.
correct
That was
answer.
my other one.
That's amazing that those 2 were true. That's amazing. The first one just had to be true. It was like too good to not be true.
Yeah, and I thought about like coming up with a really long headline just to throw you off, like to have like 2 really long ones. That was such a good headline.
Man.
That was a good one. Wow.
And I thought about actually excluding it too because it was just too obviously true because it's so outrageous, but it's pretty awesome. Okay, now this round might be a little bit of a
So I have to get this in order to tie.
yeah.
yeah. I can't lose.
But
Right.
well, I hate to give you a little bit of a whatever, but this might be a gimme. We'll see.
This one's worth 2 points.
First headline: Cow urine makes for juicy lemons. I don't understand that one, but midget sued grocer cites belittling remarks.
Whoa, what a pun. There's a pun in that.
And number 3, Empire star Jussie Smollett assaulted in Chicago in suspected hate crime. So which one's fake news?
I'm going with my boy Jussie.
Was that a cheap shot?
that was, but it was there for the taking. It's low hanging fruit. You got to pick.
I thought I had to pull that one out.
Oh yeah, you got to
Oh
take it.
man, wait. Read the. Did I mishear the Jussie one?
Empire star Jussie Smollett assaulted in Chicago in suspected hate crime.
Okay, yeah. You're really choosing that one?
I'm choosing it.
Okay. We're going for the fake one, right?
Right.
Fake news.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot over here.
Yeah, I was like, take the other one.
Yeah,
I was like, I'll just
Yes,
let you do whatever you want to do.
Total Jussie. There we go.
Okay, all right.
I'm
There we go.
sorry.
You both got it.
Wow. No, I was thinking like, wait a minute. That like he really did. I misunderstood what you were saying.
The headline
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
the true headline. The
Yeah.
actual problem is
Matt was
Yes.
trying to be misleading.
That-
it is a little bit misleading.
I don't know if I've ever laughed at a news story more than the whole Jussie Smollett.
It's comedy
whatever.
gold. I'm
Oh,
sad that there's
man.
not more comedy being built off of it. But
Has Saturday Night Live done anything with that?
I know that Trevor Noah did something on it, and it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
and which is surprising for Trevor Noah because he's normally not that funny. But it was pretty good bit
Yeah.
that he did on it. Really, the best thing was watching Charles Barkley talking about, if you,
Yes,
guys,
yeah,
if you
yeah.
guys are going to commit a crime, make sure you get cash.
Yeah, and some people are still like defending him, like this hasn't been proven that. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
The
now.
Wakanda brothers.
Yeah.
Shaq could not hold it together.
He couldn't.
when-
He
when
was
Barkley
dead
was
on
going
that.
at it.
Oh,
That
it
was
was
so
so good.
funny.
Let's get into some shower thoughts. All right, shower thoughts today going around. Why don't you kick us off, Lancer, with a
Yeah.
shower thought?
Yeah, okay, so this is one I had held over from our last one. And this blew my mind when I saw it. Spoons are just really small bowls. It's just a smaller bowl that you use to transfer from the bigger bowl. Is all a
That's so
spoon
true.
is with a little handle is all it is. So, when you're eating your cereal, it's just a bowl.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go. So there you go.
Spoons are small bowls
Spoons are just
Wow.
little small bowls
with handles.
with a handle.
Yeah,
I never thought of that,
I like it.
Yeah.
but that's really
So,
every time I
That's
use
profound.
every time I use a spoon now, it's a really shallow bowl. But
yeah, it's really shallow,
Still
real
a
small.
bowl.
All right, so I've got one that may blow your mind, and it's going to make you think twice about your life. So, maybe plants are really farming humans. They give us oxygen until we eventually expire and turn into compost, which they can consume.
Oh
That's
man,
awesome.
it's that like whole circle of life
Yeah.
thing right there.
Like maybe the plants are really in control. And we are just here to support them. That's
I like
pretty
it.
creepy when you
that
think
is
about
that
it.
is weird. Like they're like growing us.
Yes,
It makes plants a lot more evil sounding.
it does. I mean, if you see, have you ever seen like a Venus flytrap?
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Like, it's a pretty evil looking plant.
So I got a little bit of a funny story on Venus flytraps.
Oh, do
So
you?
my mom was given a Venus flytrap. I don't remember. I think it was by a student or something like
a
that.
weird gift.
It's a weird one. And so then she had this Venus flytrap, and she was trying to feed it flies.
They kept flying away.
Because the flies are supposed to just fly in it, like
Right.
because they're attracted to it, and then it's supposed to close on them. And so my mom was just like, it won't get a fly. And so there were flies in the house, and so she was like trying to like herd them over to it. And then she found like a dead fly and like put it inside of the
Oh,
Venus.
man.
The thing didn't eat any of them, and it died.
It died?
Yeah.
So
Oh wow.
the more I thought about this, I was like, man, this is really true. Like, technically, when you die, your body kind of decomposes. And granted, you're in a casket, but
Yeah.
like technically, yeah, they're basically like raising us
Right.
so that we'll die and then compost and then enrich the soil and they can continue to grow.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's amazing.
That's pretty creepy. Matt, what do you have for us?
So mine, I guess, is on the Lancer side of things. Of eye drops are technically blinker fluid.
That's
Blinker
so
fluid.
true. Oh man, So have you guys ever played the blinker fluid joke on someone, where you just
What? Tell them to go get blinker fluid. from,
your car needs
Oh,
blinker
yeah.
fluid,
Mhm.
stuff like that. There's another one where you can, if our listeners, if you want to play a prank on someone, tell them to go to AutoZone and get a bucket of steam.
A bucket of steam.
A bucket of steam. Just tell them to go get that. And,
Your car's low on steam.
yeah, go get a bucket of steam, guys.
Nice.
So,
Oh man, that's good. Blinker fluid.
Blinker
That's
fluid.
well done, Matt.
Yeah.
Do you wear contacts?
No, I do not.
See, I do. So
I don't like eye drops.
I use a lot of blinker fluid.
I am
Can you touch your eyeball, or are you like freaked out about that? Like with your finger?
not very easily. It takes a lot of work.
Yeah, no, I can't do that.
No. Do you wear
No.
contacts or
No,
glasses or anything?
nothing.
So, I got contacts when I was 16 or 15, and like your first time putting in contacts is super awkward. You're sitting there at the eye
Do you have
doctor, like,
PTSD afterwards?
like you're just trying to get it in, and it's like I feel like all the eye doctor and nurses keep coming by and they're like, "You're doing great, keep it up," and they're like, "You're really an idiot."
I'm the guy that if you come anywhere near me with a finger, my eyes are closed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like I'm
Same.
pretty used to touching my eye, getting stuff out of my eyes now. It's like second nature,
Yeah.
especially when you deal with contacts all the time. But yeah, putting drops in your eyes.
My
it's
wife gets annoyed with me because she's like, "Open your eye," and I'm like, "There's something in it," and she's like, "I know, I'm trying to get it out." I'm like, "No, that's not. No, I can't do that."
That's not how it works.
like, best thing to do if you get something in your eye is just blink as many
Yeah.
times as you
Yeah.
can, and eventually it'll work. itself
Blink and
out.
just hold your eye closed so it just waters out and
Yeah.
stuff too. Yeah.
All right, I
Yeah.
got another one for you, and like this one is sad that it's so true, but if you did something, like we say, repetition is the key to learning, right? The more you do something, the more you should be good at it, right?
hmm
Would you say that if you did something 10,000 times, you'd be good at it?
Yeah.
Probably.
So, here's the shower thought then. I have woken up over 10,000 times, and I am still not used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually did the calculation. It's more than 10,000 times. And every time you wake up, you still are like, I'm not used
So
to
I
it.
have some deep-seated thoughts on this, and this is, I think that our society sucks about sleeping.
Uh-oh.
And the problem that I see is that, traditionally we would have gone to sleep when the sun goes down. And then the sun is, getting close to rising up, and then it's light outside and it kind of wakes us up. And
Right.
we wake up naturally. We don't do that anymore.
No.
Nope.
We go
we,
to sleep.
We go to
after.
sleep at whatever time, depending on if we have a schedule on that or not. And then we wake up at a time when our alarm clock yells us into, consciousness.
So are you saying we should just go to sleep when we feel like, okay, I'm tired? And just at that point,
Well, that's another problem is, do we get tired? Because sometimes we don't work in jobs that make us tired,
True. True.
like physically tired.
right?
And that can be a little bit of a factor too.
So I'm of the idea that it is good for you to be, you ought to, like a good day should be when you hit the bed, you are tired.
Yeah.
Like you're wore out.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't know about you guys, but I can go to sleep in about 20 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I fall
Like
asleep,
literally, it's like
instantly.
if I get into the bed and I'm tired, it's maybe 15 seconds and I'm gone.
I fall asleep if I'm not tired. Like
Yeah.
I'll just fall asleep, and my wife gets annoyed at me because she'll be talking to me, and then I'll be asleep.
So talking about being bad at waking up though, my alarm, I don't have to wake up until about like 5:30 in the morning, right? But my alarms start going off at 4 because I will not wake up.
That's not good for you.
It's brutal for me. And here's the problem. It goes to that whole I can just pass out at any second, right?
Yeah.
Especially when I'm tired. So I go and I hit the snooze button and I fall asleep before my hand leaves the snooze button. And so that's why the alarm has to go off so many times because eventually I'm awake enough to like actually get out of bed.
What you need to do is just put your phone across your room,
Yeah.
and then have to walk to your phone.
I've
Do you drink coffee in the mornings?
sometimes. Sometimes I do.
You got to get a coffee maker that like you can set the night before. And like
Yeah.
it's always harder to get up if you don't have something to get up for.
yeah.
But if you wake up to the smell of fresh coffee and like you go to hit that snooze button and you know there's hot coffee waiting on me, it is easier to get out of bed, I found.
I've done a similar thing where I downloaded an app on my phone where you had to scan a barcode for the alarm to go off, and I put that barcode as my coffee, and I would walk downstairs, scan the barcode, and I have the coffee in my hand, so I just start making coffee.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't do it much anymore, but I did that for a couple months. It was pretty awesome.
I've used the apps before where it wakes you up when you're coming out of rapid eye movement. So
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
actually easier to wake up.
I did that. Yeah.
It works better for me. I've noticed that it is easier to wake up whenever you do that.
Yeah.
And you'll say, I want to get up at 5:30. And depending on what your sleep cycle is, it may wake you up at 5:15.
Right.
It may wake you up at 5:22. It'll wake you up around then. It won't
Right.
wake you up after.
Right.
But it will wake you up a little bit before or right at 5:30 or whenever your time is set for. And it does work pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do agree that like our sleep has kind of been ruined. A lot of it is by screens.
Yeah.
And,
I think so.
Of which we are all staring at right now.
Yes.
But the late night screens have damaged our ability to get good rest.
It's
And
true.
That's why a lot of people are sick.
Yeah.
So you heard it here.
True.
I'm basically like a talking web.
Man, we're getting serious. All right,
Yeah,
so let's get off of something that's serious and say, if you get into a car wreck on purpose, is it still called an accident?
You're all about these like accident,
No.
failure on purpose things.
can't be.
Yeah.
It couldn't be. It's you'd have to call the police and say, "Yeah, I've been in an on purpose."
I've been on purpose. This was
I've
an
been in
on
a-
purpose.
I've been in a deliberate.
You kind of have to call it a car wreck.
Yes,
Yeah, I have crashed my car.
we've had a crash.
Yeah.
That would actually be a better word to use.
A crash, yeah.
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
crashed. It's a lot more exciting than just, I've had an accident. That can mean
Yeah.
a lot of things.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the sissy way of saying you were in a car crash was, I've been in an accident. It's like, it was your fault, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
oops.
Yeah,
Yeah.
someone hit me or I've been in an accident. Those are the
But
two
if
things you say.
If you call and you're like, oh, I crashed my car, people are like, there's no doubt
Did
what
you?
did.
Yeah.
Like, we know exactly what you did.
Yeah.
If you just call somebody and say, hey, I got in an accident, then,
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of wussing out.
I got
Yeah.
I got a good one for us too over here, okay? We have no evidence that dinosaurs did not speak perfect English. We've never been able to prove that. So how do we not know dinosaurs didn't speak the King's English to each other?
Because of Jurassic Park.
Jurassic is
I think Jurassic
First of all,
Park is
when
the
did
most
the
scientific
King's
end.
English become the King's English?
they might have had an exact same version of it. You can't tell me they didn't.
Because I'm pretty sure there was Latin.
Oh, man, that's actually pretty good. There is no evidence of that.
There's no evidence of it, so you can't say that they didn't.
They could have been reading, well, there would have been nothing to read.
They
There
probably
would have been
did,
no books.
They probably didn't have written language, but they might have spoken to it, like T-Rex
Did
tells.
they
Yeah, yeah.
speak in with like British accents? Because you said the
Probably.
King's English.
Yeah, they
was there
probably
even a
did.
king at that time?
Yeah, it's called the T-Rex.
Did they drink tea and with milk and sugar? Or
Well, the T-Rex didn't know because his
Okay.
arms were too short,
Yeah, that's
but
true,
he had that brontosaurus, give it to him.
gotcha.
All right,
So-
Oh man.
Thank you, Lance.
So I got one more, and this one is I'm trying to think of if I should go with something that's more of like or something just super off the wall. So I'll do
Off the wall.
super off the wall.
Awesome.
This is so dumb. When Sweden is playing Denmark, you know how they'll have like the little abbreviated names in the score underneath? The abbreviated name is Swe versus Den. And the remaining letters are Den and Mark. So when Sweden is playing Denmark, the abbreviation is Sweden, and the leftover remaining letters spell Denmark.
Nice.
Wow.
You guys
That's
like
awesome.
that? It's pretty-
That is amazing.
I
That's
know we've
awesome.
got, I think, the female World Cup coming up this year. So whenever
Maybe
you see Sweden playing
Yeah.
Denmark, you'll just see Sweden
Nice.
on the board. So
That's
I
awesome.
figured I would just prep everybody for that when they
Yeah,
see it on TV. I don't want you
thanks.
guys to get
I like that.
confused.
Right. Appreciate
So,
that.
yeah.
I really do.
I've got like one last question, and this I typed it out because I honestly don't know, and I'm probably just dumb, and it actually does
Probably.
exist. Do they make French fries in France?
Or do they just call them fries?
Well, and yeah,
Or do they just not even have that?
right? Is that just an American thing,
And we just wanted to blame them for it?
I don't
Because it's
know,
going to
or-
make us all fat.
or was it just something that someone made and they were like, "Oh yeah, these are like from France"?
They just wanted to spice it up a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah. It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
marketing
Yeah,
thing.
these are French. Yeah.
yeah, it's like something like
That's a good question. I think if I had to guess, I'm guessing somebody just made it up and used French to spice it up.
Yeah. Well, because I think and in England they call them chips, fries or chips, right?
Well, that's because the Brits and the French
that
hate
correct?
each other. Like,
Yeah, and the Brits call a lot of things wrong. Like we call it liberty, they called it rebellion.
right? Yeah. They,
So they're not great on defining
Yeah,
terms.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh man, that's good.
good,
You guys,
good point.
You guys want to draft something?
Let's do a draft.
I'm gonna draft something.
All right, guys. So here we are on our next draft that we have scheduled for our Shoot from the Hip podcast. And this draft is going to be 4 rounds, and this might be the most exciting draft we've ever done.
It's one of the hardest.
This is one of the hardest ones we've ever done. It is a fight to the death, but your weapons can only be food items. And these are food that we're going to use as our weapons in our fight to the death. And we are going to do, of course, a snake draft. Matt's got first pick in this one. I got second, and Aaron has the third. And as a caveat to this one, we talked a lot about this. You cannot use the container of the food. You have to use the food itself. So, the glass of a bottle or something. You
Don't
can't
count. You can't slash somebody with it.
You can't do that. It's got to be the actual food.
You can't use the tin can from a can of beans.
Right. It's just the food itself.
And you don't want to use a single bean either, because that's not gonna do much.
But
Yeah.
couldn't you bean somebody with it?
Oh.
And the other caveat is it's something that you could get on a single barcode. So if,
Yes.
for instance, beans, it would be like a bunch of beans, not just
Right.
one individual bean.
That's
So-
what I want, a bunch of beans.
Yeah, I'll kill you with a bean. So,
Yeah.
were there any caveats to this?
I think that's it.
Okay.
I think we're pretty good. And this is like your general grocery store.
Yes.
Right.
So I want to just ask this up front.
Yeah.
Like, if you go into a grocery store, you'll obviously have like the dairy section, the meat section, the produce, the seafood, the bakery, and you'll have like a deli section,
Yeah.
right? We're counting stuff from all of that,
Yes.
right? Okay. I assumed we should, because
Right.
that is in a grocery store. So basically, imagine you're fighting to death. It breaks out in a grocery store. You
Right.
got to grab food
Well,
to
we're-
use as weapons.
We're talking about general grocery stores, so specialty items. I'm thinking, are
Yeah,
out.
it's not something you're gonna find it. As long as most places carry it.
Right. So, like,
gonna say that
one
counts.
thing that I have on here is sea urchin, but I feel like that's a little specific.
That's like no, not gonna count. Because if
Okay,
you're in
all right.
Japan,
All
maybe.
right, just making sure.
But
Well, if you're buying, like, if you're, I don't know if Charleston would have them, but like, if you're in like an import city, you might find them.
sure. Yeah,
but
here in
it's
Atlanta,
just kinda
you'd have to
specific.
shop at really the right spot. in order to
Yeah.
get
Right.
that. I
Yeah.
think you'd have to do some searching. So,
Yeah.
all right, Matt, you got the first pick in this one. So.
All right, first pick. I feel like this was an obvious one. I was really digging out of the produce section when I was going through this because it's just kind of fun to dig out of the produce section for this kind of draft and imagine what you could beat people up with to the death. And coconut was an obvious first choice to me
Ooh.
because you could really wail on somebody with a coconut before that coconut gives way.
That's
So
true. That's true.
That is the clear number one.
You could hit him in the
Is it?
coconut with a coconut.
I think the coconut is the clear number one choice.
I think
Have
so.
you ever tried to open a coconut?
I haven't.
It is like super duper hard.
So what we should do is we should do a video where Lancer just tries to open a coconut, and we just
Different ways to open. Like
Do it
it's,
first try.
If you took a
Yeah.
do you think
Yeah,
if you
I wanna
took
see
a
that.
coconut and just smacked it on the ground, it would crack open?
From the way you guys are talking about it, probably not. But from just my own head, I don't see why not.
I would think it would too, but I don't think it actually does.
No, I don't think so.
Like they have like
Because
special.
I've wailed on them with a hammer.
They have like you have to get
Wow.
like a special hatchet or like a
a wedge.
Yeah, like a certain way to open those things and to skin
Okay.
them. It's not easy. They're super hard.
Some people just drill into them and then they kind of wedge into it after that.
yeah,
But yeah,
Okay.
it's
All right.
it's super hard. That's a good choice.
yeah,
Wow.
And
coconut.
if you
Okay.
get pasted in the head with a coconut, you're having a
All
bad
right.
day.
Well, I'm glad you chose coconut. That was not my clear number one, and I'm glad I have second. My first pick of this fight to the death draft will be a T-bone steak.
Nice. I
For
thought
the
about
fact
that,
of the T-bone.
Yep.
Very sharp, ergonomically to fit in your hand and like kind of poke through your finger, and you can just, you could do some damage with that.
Yeah.
With a T-bone steak, and it's naturally sharp, somewhat, kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you going?
That's a good choice.
Are you gonna like rip the steak portion off so you're using it as like a knife?
No,
Yeah,
you eat
exactly.
that portion.
Yeah, I'll
Aaron.
eat it for energy. Eat it for energy for
Yeah,
this fight
yeah.
to the death.
All right.
So-
I can see that.
You don't throw away a T-bone steak.
No.
I'll use it to bust open that coconut.
All right. So
Yeah, good luck.
I am going to man. All right. So that makes me tilt a little bit on this pick.
Oh man, Aaron's got a stall again.
Oh man,
let me see here.
he's
All right.
waffling.
So, I really wanted the first pick in this one, so I can take the coconut.
Roll the Jeopardy
but
music.
I'm going with the pineapple.
Oh,
I'm
spiky.
going with the pineapple.
Spiky.
I get the spiky factor.
Yeah.
I get. It is pretty hard. So I feel like it's kind of the shape of like a football.
Yeah.
You probably chuck that thing.
It's kind of wieldy, but at the same time, that thing is rough.
It is rough. It's got some good girth to it.
It's got the stem end too.
The stem
Yeah.
end is really sharp.
Yeah.
So yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
just afraid that the coconut's going to hurt your hand as you're using it too, or not the coconut,
The
the
pineapple.
Pineapple?
The
Yeah.
pineapple will hurt your hand.
Yeah, it's
You just kind of man up and
Yeah.
deal with
yeah,
it.
it's kind of like the
You're
cross-
killing
the
somebody
cross you have
else.
to
I don't
bear.
think you'll be thinking about your hand.
Yeah, this is a fight to the death. If you get a few cuts on the way down, so
Yeah.
be it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going with the pineapple. All right, and I got the back to back. So leading off here.
Uh-oh.
All right,
Jeopardy
I'm
music?
going.
Okay.
I'm going with the sack of potatoes.
Ah,
Sack
man,
of
you took two of
potatoes.
mine.
Oh man.
Yeah, the sack of potatoes. See, you can use this two ways.
I put large bag of potatoes.
Yeah. So the potatoes, I mean, you can either use it as one weapon and sling that thing around and smack somebody with a sack of potatoes. That's going to hurt like crazy.
Well, here's the thing.
Or-
You can't use the container. I did think about that.
Okay.
But you
Ooh.
can't use the container.
Ooh.
But you still got lots of ammo.
Yeah, you could
Does
throw
a
those
bag
around.
count as a container, though?
I would say that it does.
Okay.
Because
so
we
then
can't
either
include-
way, I got something that's not quite as hard as a coconut, but something that is almost as close as you can get in the produce section.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of them.
Yep.
And I'm just
True.
going to be going like Buddy the Elf style, with the snowballs just chucking potatoes down through
that's
the aisles.
That's the thing. Like the coconut is the thing that you have to hang on to. The pineapple too, but the potatoes.
Yeah, they
they're
feel a little
gr-
more expendable, right?
They're great throw. Like
Fits in the
items.
hand well. I'm
Yeah.
going sack of potatoes because I just feel like, outside of like the bone is great for stabbing. There's
Yeah.
not a lot of great stabbing implements.
Yeah.
Right.
So you got to go with something more blunt force. So
Yeah.
I'm going that.
Yeah.
All right. So my second pick. Oh man. Okay. So this one, I'm going a little chemical warfare on you guys. Okay.
Ooh, I like it.
I am going to choose the onion.
Oh, I like it.
Only to affect your eyes as we are fighting, just to throw you off. And
What if
mess
it
you up.
affects yours?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll have a cure for that in my third pick.
You know,
I don't
onions are super hard, actually.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
And with my T-bone, I can crack it open and maybe like lay them around different places where you guys are hiding, and maybe you're like, oh, what's going on with my eyes?
Ah, my eyes are burning.
I can't see anything. And I come out and stab you in the neck.
What's all this
Sorry,
blinker
it's a little
fluid
brutal.
in my eyes?
All right.
Oh,
so
man.
with my pick number 2, I guess I got to do 2 and 3. Pick number 2 is going to be a whole turkey
Ooh.
The whole turkey.
for the same reason that you picked a T-bone steak.
Okay.
Because I got a lot of bones in there. So I'm going to rip open that turkey and I'm just going to start picking out bones of my choosing, and I will have plenty
So let me get this
of bones
straight.
to pick out.
While I am sitting there pasting you with potatoes, you're going to be opening the carcass of this super frozen. Have you ever? Okay, I'm guessing this is a frozen turkey, right?
Oh, yeah, you might as well just throw that frozen
I didn't
turkey.
say
can't-
frozen.
Okay, so this is a really nasty grocery store that doesn't freeze their turkey.
The rotisserie one.
So you're getting
Sure.
this turkey and you're pulling apart the slimy bones to try to stab me with.
Well, here's the deal. You're just assuming the scenario is we're in a ring where we have nowhere to hide.
No, we're in a grocery store. But
We
where
are
you
inside the grocery store.
How are you going to
Okay.
get the bones out of the turkey quickly?
I mean, like, man, you just go at it. You're about to kill somebody.
You have
you're
no
gonna-
weapons. You're tearing it apart.
I have
You're-
weapon. I've got a coconut in one hand.
You're taking your coconut and bashing a turkey, trying to get the.
Well, let me continue on. Okay. So my pick number 3 is an aloe. Like
Oh,
the-
you stole it. That was a sly
An
one.
aloe. Okay.
yeah, those that what is
The
it?
aloe
It's
stems?
whatever it's
Stems,
a
yeah.
leaf or stem or whatever
They got
it's
some
called.
spiky things on it.
Yeah, and those things are sharp.
They are really sharp.
Yep.
Man, that's a good pick.
They got
Yeah.
an edge to them, really, too.
Yeah. All right.
So aloe is my pick number
I
3.
actually saw one of those in a grocery store and I was like, oh man, let me go check that out. And like if you hold it up against your skin and kind of pull the opposite way, Like if you really wanted to, you could break skin.
Oh, yeah.
And like
Nice.
you could cut somebody's neck with that thing.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
That's kind of the dark horse.
Now the
in this.
problem is it's a little flimsy because there's a
little bit.
lot of liquid in there.
Right.
So if you could almost use it as like a saw,
Hey, I can cut open my,
you can cut
my
open
turkey.
the turkey with the
There you go.
Exactly.
There you go.
And by the time you dig the bones out and your face stops swelling from all the potatoes hitting it, you'll be able to use it.
Yeah, I'll
Alright.
kill you with a coconut first.
So is it my pick here?
Yes,
All right.
you're
So I've got the T-bone steak. I got the onion. I'm going next with syrup.
Oh,
I am shooting you with syrup just to make you feel really uncomfortable and maybe slow you down a little.
So we're crying and we're sticky.
You're crying, you're sticky, and you're getting stabbed. All right. So I am taking away your ability to attack me with my the two picks that I've had.
I like
so
it. It's
far.
like you're choosing a weapon and then like side items
Yeah,
to go with that
that's
weapon.
really
I
what
like
I
it.
got the main thing.
what if the
Yeah.
syrup though helps us like hold on to our weapon more because of the stickiness?
It might. It's all about like
It's a two-edged sword.
like I'm setting up traps for you guys, right?
Okay.
Like I'm making this
So
whole
is this like
aisle.
the tar baby? Like we're gonna run into the
Yeah.
syrup and like not be able to move?
Yeah, like it'll make it where your shoes, like you got to take your shoes off or something, you know, just like really bad. Like
It's
just
that thing where you're
Lots of
walking through
syrup.
the store and then all of a sudden it's like,
yeah,
as
and I
you're
know where
walking.
you are everywhere. You
yeah,
go.
you'll definitely know where we're
Yeah,
at,
yeah.
so you won't be able to hide.
it'd be annoying.
Oh man, that's true.
So-
All right, so I'm gonna take an item that is kind of off the beaten path here, but I think it does count. And you guys can weigh in on if this counts. I'm fairly certain you can find it in the deli section. I'm taking a big bowl of piping hot soup out of the
Nice.
deli section.
Okay.
And I'm going for burn factor here.
Yeah.
You get a
Nice.
bowl of hot chicken noodle soup to the face, it's gonna be debilitating. So I'm taking a bowl of hot soup.
That's a really smart pick. That's good. You got the burn factor. I like that. I like that.
I think I can take my shoes off since they're a little bit sticky. I can hide around a corner, and when Lancer comes around, boom, throw about half that bowl in his face.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna matter. Like if you've ever had something super hot flare up in your face, I mean, it's just like all bets are off. You're trying to get yourself back on kilter. So
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm going hot soup. I really wanted coffee, but
You can cook my turkey with your hot soup.
I could, but I'll cook you and then cook the turkey. All right, so last pick here.
Not till I
I've
have that
got-
bone out.
I got the pineapple. I got the sack of potatoes. I got a bowl of hot soup. I could go for like super scary factor. I could go.
I feel like we need to have a meal after this of just what we've picked.
So, man, I want to be super practical here, but I kind of don't. So I'm not. I've already got enough. I've got a lot of weapons to hold, honestly.
Yeah.
Between the pineapple and all the potatoes and this. So I'm going with something scary. And not every grocery store has this, but a lot of them do. I'm bringing the live lobster.
Oh,
And I'm
live
chucking
lobster.
a live lobster at your face.
That's one of those things where you just go, get out of here, and then it's done.
Because lobsters taste great, but they're scary, stinking creatures, man. It's like a giant bug
Yeah.
coming at you. And all I know is if you all of a sudden you got a live lobster with pinchers coming at you, it's not going to be something you really want to
Can I just say, that's one of the worst things to watch on a cooking show for them to butcher.
a live lobster?
Yeah, it's just like you stab them in the head and just like crunch them with the knife.
Oh, yeah.
It's the worst.
So
thing to
Lancer
watch.
Lancer has the best.
If you want to go
weapon
vegan,
kill us.
just if you're thinking about going vegan, just watch some
lobsters being
get
massacred
butchered.
on the
Oh,
Food
Man,
Network.
That sounds.
I'm
that
going with the
sounds
live
terrible.
lobster there
Nice.
just to mix it up.
Nice.
And just kind of surprise people. Look, if you come around the corner and there's a live lobster in your face, there's going to be a little bit of screaming going on.
I'll definitely do a little jump.
I'll be
and
like,
a little
"Ooh!"
jig, and
Yeah,
I'll
there's
toss
going to be
it
a little
away.
something going on there. There were better picks on the board, probably more practical ones, but I'm running out of hands. So I need a little live friend
true.
to help me out here.
True. Yeah.
So I'm going live lobster.
So with my last pick, I got my main weapon obviously is T-bone steak bone, and I got my chemical warfare sitting around there with the onions sitting around, making you guys tear up. I got my syrup trap. I need something long distance, right? Something that I can throw like Aaron's potatoes here. I'm going with corn on the cob
Ooh, I
Nice.
like
to,
it.
to chunk across the room. And just to inconvenience you. I don't think that's going to be the killing blow, but that will definitely be something to mess you up.
just a distraction.
Yeah, it's a distraction. You're like,
see,
gotcha.
I'm gonna help you out a little bit, but I think corn on the cob could get pretty deadly.
Oh yeah, if you throw it hard enough, it hits you.
It's
right?
got a relative point, and you could do some real damage with it.
Haven't you guys seen Nacho Libre?
There you go.
Steven chucks that corn through the guy's eye.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you really threw it right,
Yeah.
you could probably.
Or if you just use it as like a stabbing implement.
The other thing
right in
about
the
corn
eyes.
too, like, did you guys ever have those like whistle Nerf footballs with like the tail on it, where you could grab it by the
Yeah.
tail? Corn, you could actually like peel the husk back and like chuck it by the husk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's almost
Yeah.
like a lawn dart.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
real ergonomic.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I like
Yeah.
it.
So
I would be more freaked out by a live lobster being thrown at me than a piece of corn.
I mean, yeah, but that's off the board, right?
but yeah,
So-
the corn does throw a little bit easier.
so I'm going with something for my final pick for the range factor as well. But I'm gonna go with a bag of frozen chicken breasts.
okay.
Potatoes are hard, but chicken breasts are harder.
Frozen ones.
Frozen
yes.
ones.
Yes.
Potatoes are easier to throw than something frozen, though. I did think about frozen.
The frozen chicken breasts, you can grab onto them pretty good. They're nice, like disc shape, and you can chuck them like a
Yeah,
like a
it's like a
skipping a
rock.
stone. Yeah, you can
Man.
you can sling those things.
This would be
So-
such an interesting food fight.
Can you imagine getting whacked in the face with a frozen chicken
That
breast?
wouldn't feel good, especially if you like snuck around the corner.
Holy
Wham.
moly! It just catches you right in the face. That would hurt.
that-
It takes some aim, but it would hurt.
Yeah.
That would be devastating. All right, Matt, you want to give a rundown of what you got?
Yeah, so I'm nailing you with a coconut at close range. The aloe plant is sneaking up behind you and cutting your throat. The turkey's kind of strapped on my back for when I get a spare moment to
For
take
when
it out,
his
and
victory
rip
feast,
some
because
bones
it's
out.
not good for anything else.
Winner turkey dinner. So you gotta rip the bones out. So I gotta have that on the side for when it comes
Dissecting a
around.
turkey.
Yeah, and then for my ranged ammo, I've got my frozen chicken breast kind of in a pouch on my belt.
All right, so I'm coming up here with the T-bone steak bone as my main weapon, stabbing you in the throat, watching you bleed out, and then
devastating.
just to inconvenience you, and before that happens, you will be sniffing my onions and crying before I kill you. And as you cannot see where you're going, you will step through my syrup trap, and I will know every step you take from there on. And if you happen to catch me off guard and come attacking, I am throwing my corn on the cob to throw you off. of
That's
the-
Nice.
That's a well-rounded team. I'm going with the pineapple. I can grab that thing. I don't know what do they call it, the husk or whatever the top is, the stem.
I don't know.
Is it? I
It's
don't know, the
something.
stem.
I
I
guess
grab
it's a
that thing
stem.
by the stem and whack somebody with it or throw it like
Yeah.
a football.
Yeah.
I got the sack of potatoes, so I got a lot of ammo there, and all I have to do is work on my accuracy. But I'm bringing up the rear with a bowl of hot chicken noodle soup. Going for the burn factor to the face, and last but not least, my friend, the live lobster that I'm going to chuck at somebody, and that's going to bring some definite.
How are you
definite scare
transporting
tactic.
the lobster? Out of curiosity.
I'm literally picking it up by right out of the live well, and just ripping the little rubber bands
I was
off,
gonna say.
and just when I see, I'm gonna charge somebody
Yeah.
and just chuck it in their face. I mean, that's what you just have to do. Kind of Patriot style, just run right at them and just throw a lobster. I mean, what would you do? I mean, I've never been presented with this
I would
circumstance.
probably flail like crazy and
Holy
just kind of
cow,
sling it
that's-
away from me.
It's terrifying to think about. Did you guys have anything that you didn't take that you really wanted to take?
You actually took
Most of yours?
Actually, you took the corn
Mhm.
and I think
Like,
you
is
had
there
the sack of
anything that's still
potatoes,
on the
so-
board that you didn't take
No.
that you wanted to take?
No, not for me.
Like an honorable mention.
There's a few things that I was thinking. I was thinking about a lemon. You could squirt that in people's eyes,
Yeah,
but I felt like that was repetitive from what I had already.
Yeah.
I was close to you on that of like going for, okay, what can I like squirt in people's eyes? I was going to go with hot sauce.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, that
yeah.
would have been a good one. That's a
Like,
good chemical
I
warfare.
kind of feel like you'd be doing the Paul Blart Mall Cop deal where he's got like the little Tabasco and you'd be like
No,
squirting it in people's
I
eye.
did think about having pancake mix And the reason why I would do that is if you happen to jump up on me, I could throw it in the air like a smoke bomb, and then you wouldn't know where I ran. So,
I like that.
That could work. The other thing that I thought about taking, so you took the frozen chicken breast.
Yeah.
I was thinking like frozen dough or something like that.
yeah.
Like some rolls. That's really hard.
Right.
The other thing I really wanted to take was a rack of ribs.
Yeah, I thought about that one too.
Like they're kind of long. You could pace somebody with that. You got a bunch of bones in there that you can kind of rip off and stab somebody with.
Right.
Yeah.
That probably is the pick I should have made over the lobster. But chucking a live lobster,
like the
at
lobster.
somebody is
Yeah.
freaky.
I mean,
And-
if you can happen to train the lobster really quick to go around and do the attacking for you, that'd be pretty awesome.
I know one that I did think about was like a big fish. Just a whole
Yeah.
fish so that you can just smack somebody with it.
I don't know if you kill them,
Pike's
but
Market in
hurt.
Seattle. They just
You
chuck
could
it
kill him,
through.
you just keep wailing.
Once you get them, you got
It's
them.
just, it'd be a great sound.
Oh,
This is watcha,
man.
watcha.
All right, so we're gonna post this on the Twitters.
Absolutely.
And so follow us on there. I think it's at Hipshot Podcast, and vote on which of these results you think is best. And we'll definitely have those Team Matt, Team Lancer, and Team Aaron. So far, I think we've posted three. I think we've posted 3 draft polls, and I can confidently say that I have won 2 of them. And Matt, you won the first one. Lancer
Yes.
has come in second. for
Second
every
every
poll.
single
He's
one.
very consistent. But anyway, so go to Twitter, vote on these. It's a lot of fun for us, and I'm sure it'll be fun for you guys as well to give a little bit of input and just see a little bit of feedback. So let us know what you think.
Yeah, so that again is at Hipshot Podcast on Twitter. Be sure to go on Facebook as well, and we'll probably have some sort of poll or some sort of something that you can get involved with at facebook.com/Shoot from the Hip Podcast. You can also find us on Instagram, Hipshot Podcast. Hopefully we'll have something up over there. And make sure that you go ahead and subscribe. I'm sure you're listening on either iTunes or SoundCloud. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes, but also be sure to go ahead and rate and review, and that would help us out a ton. We would really appreciate that from you guys. Also, on SoundCloud, you can follow us over there, subscribe. That's soundcloud.com/Shoot from the Hip Podcast. Thank you once again for listening to the podcast. We really appreciate your listenership.